Hi everyone.
Hi everyone.
We are currently out at, what's the lake?
It's called Kluane Lake. It's by Destruction Bay in Canada, Yukon.
And we thought today we would bring you 5 tips that you need when you're driving up from the lower 48 up and through Canada.
Okay, we're going to pause a moment before we start this off. This is a bonus tip. As I was editing this video, I caught the look that is on my wife's face, and I love her to death. But turns out the face that she has right here in this picture is the one that is Christopher. You're doing this before I had my coffee, and I have told you that, and I am not happy with you. So bonus tip, do not, I repeat, do not, if your wife tells you she needs a couple cups of coffee before you even think about video recording, listen, I would recommend listening big time.
So we all know fuel is a necessity, whether you got gas or diesel. You've got to fuel your rigs up. Now we're in a truck, fifth wheel, with a 43-foot toy hauler on the back. It makes for getting into some of these gas stations just a little bit more challenging than I really thought it was actually going to be. I mean, we did it with our travel trailer. It got challenging, but not nearly the way it has been with this one. So,
2 factors. We're taller.
We're taller.
Not necessarily longer, but it seems like we're wider or something like that.
Yeah, it just, overall, it can be a little intimidating on things. You know, confidence in my driving, but there's just, some of these stations are not meant for the big rigs. Now, some are, and we'll get to that in a minute. So let's go with tip number 1. If you're getting diesel, okay, which our truck is diesel.
And you're in Canada.
Their pumps are yellow.
For diesel. And sometimes red.
Not green, like we have in the lower 48.
Green is your unleaded.
Green is your unleaded in Canada. Yellow is your diesel. Tip number 2. They have your high volume and your low volume diesel pumps, just like we do in the lower 48. Same thing. But there's a couple things that you can watch for to really set you up for success when you're pulling in. One, if you look and see the hose, it's typically a much larger diameter hose for the high volume. The head is also a much larger going into your nozzle. And typically they'll be a longer hose. Those all kind of go together for giving you a quick bird's eye as you're pulling up to see whether it is
a high volume.
A high volume. And on our truck, when we go to use the high volume, you put it in, and if you do anything more than just a short squeeze, it spits it back out at me. So I got to be really conscious of how I fuel up.
And they have these on the same pump. So you'll literally pull up, and one side of the pump will be the regular diesel for domestic or regular vehicles, and then you'll have the ones for the commercial grade. And the commercial grade, you would think that like in the lower 48, all your commercial grade is on a different island, is typically. Here, it'll be on the outside with the regular, like our truck, and a diesel truck, a big commercial long hauler will be at the same pump.
So that's kind of tip number 3 right there, is your outside pumps for the diesel are going to be a high volume pump. It's been that way at every single stop we've made. They have you pull in where it's beautiful access for us, but it's a high volume pump, so you end up having to just
And we like the outside because, one, because we are so long, and two, with our height, we want the clearance.
Yeah, it just makes it easier.
Tip number 4, up here in Canada, they're much friendlier about your paying at the pumps. Because they don't have, I guess, this high volume of stealing gas, there a lot of times the pump will say to go inside and do like a deposit or do a deposit at the pump. And a lot of times if you just go inside and they'll flip the pump on, you can pump your gas and then go pay. They've been very generous in this fashion.
Sometimes they'll ask you to leave your card there, which is no big deal. Again, you're
just
gonna
leave your card with them, go pump.
You're gonna use it, and
sometimes sometimes the pumps, if it is what they call card lock pump, you'll put your card in and you'll do like a hold, like a pre-approved payment concept where you do like it, but you have to guess. Now it's in liters up here. In liters, you got to try to figure out, okay, if I'm at half a tank and if it typically is going to take 15 gallons, well, that's like almost 4 liters per gallon. So you have to like do some math.
Yeah, it depends on how you want to go for.
But they've generally, so on tip 4, it's very generous up here as far as they are very, they'll flip the pump on for you. They'll say, go ahead and pump it, come in and pay, or leave your card with me and then we'll settle up.
There have been 2 places that they actually do the pumping for you, which the gentleman the one that we actually stopped at, very, very nice, had a great transaction. He actually is an expat.
Yep.
And
from Florida.
And now he's been up here, him and his wife bought a place, been up here 32 years.
Yep. Tip number 5 would be have the patience to know that your range is going to be different in these large rigs, and to give yourself aware of where your gas pumps are on your map. And the milepost has been very clear for us, and we'll do a video on the milepost and how to use it. But it tells you literally, it has a little gas, like a fuel pump on the locations that have gas. And so you need to plan ahead, and there's a lot that are closed. It'll be in the book, but it'll be close, so you have to carry a little extra fuel with you just in case. We have a couple diesel cans in the back of the truck for those occasions. We've been very fortunate. We've made it in. Sometimes only 20 miles left. But
yeah, we've rolled in on fumes a couple times just because we ended up going uphill more, and then we caught a headwind, and the fuel mileage we went from getting 8.5, dropped quickly down to 6.
Because you're climbing
because you're climbing hills.
You gotta go slow with these big rigs, and there's a lot of road conditions. We'll go over that, but for fuel wise, you need to plan ahead, and you need to look. About every 150 miles there is usually a gas station, so you can plan. So
yeah, so in that, with what Suzanne said, we'll make bonus tip number 6: carry at least a 5-gallon fuel can with you,
if not 2.
If not 2. Clearly, you want to know the range of your vehicle.
Yep.
Our rig.
With trailer versus without trailer, or Class A, loaded, unloaded, all of those aspects, Class C, whatever.
You need to take into consideration your particular rig, and hopefully you've traveled in it before just making this Canada journey. But there is fuel available.
Yeah.
Almost everywhere.
And
there
there's
are
a lot
some
of
that's
hills.
closed.
You are going through the Rockies and stuff, so you need to plan. That's going to affect your gas mileage. If even on a straightaway across Montana, and you normally got, say, 10 miles to the gallon with your rig, you're probably only going to get 8 in the mountains. That's just you're going through the mountains.
Yeah. All right, guys. So there you have it. 5 tips, 1 bonus tip for traveling through Canada and your fuel stops, and some of the things that you might want to know. Please remember to hit that like, subscribe. If you ring that bell down there at the bottom, it'll let you know when we upload a new video.
Thank you for watching.
Most of all, thank you so much for watching. We're excited to
bring
really,
more tips to you. We got some more.
yeah, we got a lot more, and boy, you should see some of the awesome stuff that we've seen so far.